Called it. Awesome. Wow, Camimi, thank you so much for coming today. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And today we're going to talk about how we work together and then how you made such a transformation and transition in your career. And I'm super happy to have you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to see your face and to learn from you.
Lovely, lovely. And then I love your background. I love your setting. It's absolutely
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
That's your art. That's your art area.
Yeah.
Love that.
This is baby Krishna.
Baby Krishna.
Baby
Hi.
Krishna. Yeah.
Just
Hi, baby Krishna.
yeah, please say hi to her. Awesome. So yeah, like a bit of a context, but before we start working together, before you actually came to me and texted me, we met in Miami, and it's quite unusual, like you didn't find me on Instagram or anything. We just met in Miami through a mutual friend. And I remember I joined your event and it was epic. I had such a great time because that was my first time in Miami. And yeah, since then there's the good connection and we definitely, like stayed for I believe that it's like 1 year later, right? Like it's been a 1 year, something that before we start working.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Awesome, awesome. So yeah, I was really happy that you actually approached me for, like working together and I was very, very excited.
Yeah. I just like there's just so much that I see in you like as a creative and just your mindset. I feel like you're so positive and I just there's like something that like you had that I'm like I need
It's a fire.
that. I need that. Not like in a vampire way, but like in a like angel way. Like
Yeah, not
I
in a
need
vampire way. Yeah, you didn't suck any blood from me, so that's all good.
that.
Yeah, it's like so yeah, it's actually a good point to talk about like what motivated you to actually start working with me because you knew me as a person, we've met and we hanged out and as a friend, and so you knew me as a person beforehand.
Yeah. Well, I I just saw that you are, well, the first thing is how creative you are. And as a creative, sometimes us creatives, artists, like we have too many ideas everywhere, and it's hard for us to kind of settle into one idea or like work on one thing. And I saw you doing that. Like you are creative, you're good at many things, but you have been able to like you discovered a way to work on one thing at a time. So when I saw that you were doing that, I'm like, I know that he is, he has his mindset right. He's figured it out. So that was like the first thing that drew me to working with you, because I see like similar things about me and you, like as far as just like having many not like hobbies and just things that we like to do, but we're all able to merge them into kind of one thing if we if we get our mind right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it. I totally get it. That creative part and this like business aspect was so in your eyes, it was like well combined. I think that's something I also really, really value. The creative expression of who I am, that being unique and having a good brand. But, you know, bring the result, not just like being creative and just like floating on the ocean, but like, hey, here's the result. This is bam, bam, bam. This is what to do, what to do. It's like, love that. Thank you so much. I would genuinely appreciate that. Cool. So
Yeah,
yeah, tell
and
me,
just aside from that, oh wait.
go ahead.
Aside from that, like after like meeting you, because we met in person first, then I stalked you on IG, and then like m- learning more about your story, about like what like how this like show became show, it was like really inspiring. And I when I saw that story, I like couldn't believe that. I was like, wow, like this guy really went from like zero to hero, like you say.
Pussy to G.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really inspiring.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, tell me a little bit about where you were before. So like you wanted to get to the next level, obviously, but like where
Yeah.
you were in
So
terms of like the starting point.
yeah, so I had completed a coaching program that was like 6 months to become a Dharma coach. I've always knew that because I have like many passions too, and I'm like very authentic in my passions and in the way that I work. I have like refused to like work for other people, and always from the beginning just knew that I was here and on this earth to create something beautiful, and most importantly to help others as well, um, to help others, not just like find their dharma, their purpose, but to kind of believe that they even have a dharma, like just believe in themselves that they're here for a big purpose, not just to like work, 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 and you know so more into like getting more into their creative projects. And so when I did this program, I finished this program, and then um, I'm like, okay, yay, I'm a Dharma coach now. But really, like, I didn't know really how to coach.
Mm,
Um, and so I I feel like there's a lot of that is natural, that like I'm a natural coach because I'm a teacher. So I already like have that in me. But I didn't really have a program. I was just coaching people. Um, I was just like meeting people, being like, I can coach you. And it was really loose, right? It was really loose. And I think that something that I figured out later on is that maybe I didn't quite believe in myself, even though I was like, I'm coaching, I'm doing this. Like the truth is that perhaps I didn't really believe in myself. I didn't believe that I was there yet, right? So I wasn't calling myself a coach. I was calling myself a mentor, like little things like that. Like I had like mentees, and I didn't want to call them like coaching clients because I was like, well, coach is like different. Like mentor sounds like a little bit smaller and less scary. So I think like a huge part of where I was before, it was that even though I was saying that I believed it, deep inside I didn't think that I was
mm.
ready. So that, even though I was like, I have all the tools, I know that I'm here for this, but something in there just was not with it yet.
Yeah, gotcha. No, like it's something that I was like, it's clicking so well is because that's most people struggle, right? Because you have talents, you have skills, and you have such a unique character as well. And then it's showing you on Instagram, but your Instagram page was, sorry to say, but quite hectic, right? Like it's everywhere, you know what I'm saying? Like for people to understand who you are was very difficult. So like you have that so many different talents and skills and already established thing within you. But as you said, you didn't really believe that you can do it. And I remember you were saying that um you're just only like charging like a couple $100, right? Like intellectually, you know you can do it. Intellectually, you know you've got the skills and talent. You can, start making like so much money and etc. You can manifest the things that you want. And I'm pretty sure that you manifested a lot before, but there's like some ceilings because you understood intellectually, like I believe in myself, like intellectually, like in the surface level consciously, but your subconscious wasn't really aligning with that intellectual understanding.
Hmm. Yeah, I was definitely selling myself short. Like And it wasn't until you were like, wait, this is what you're charging? No, this is not what you need to like. Your offer is worth so much. And then when I changed it, I realized that people did believe in me, and it just was like a snowball effect after that. Like I realized, oh yeah, I am worth this. My program is, my teaching is worth this and more, but it had to come with all of the mindset work and the internal work. It wasn't like, like you said, I had the skills, I had it all, but I didn't have it. Like I didn't really believe in myself internally, and that really was what switched and what changed everything.
Yeah. Like, so there's the two things in the business or in anything, pretty much in skills, is the impression and expression. It's also that goes into the learning process. You learn something and then you start teaching about it or you start sharing about it. But like I said, you already have everything impressed within you and you already have that. But the way you expressed wasn't really giving you what you wanted. So like we tweaked a little bit, like in
Mm-hmm.
terms of like the mindset and everything, but also a bit of like the principles and like tweaking Instagram or like, having the system allow you to express it in fully, which is like tapping into the full potential and then expressing as it is. And that's why I think it's just like start flowing just effortlessly.
Something that I like remember, and one of the things that was like the hardest for me, like you said, my Instagram was hectic. I had so many things. I didn't want to give up my pinned posts
Yeah.
at the top
Attachment.
that were all that, yeah, that they were all like art. And because being an artist, like a painter, had been such a big part of my identity.
Mm.
And I remember you saying this part at the beginning, like people say it's not hard, but oh yeah, I'm not attached to this, I'm not attached to that, but like this part is hard because it's kind of like an ego death. Like you're like, you gotta like strip out all those things, that like these labels of who you are trying to portray, to really start sharing about the one thing that you want to concentrate on. And then I remember being like, that's not hard for me, I can do it, like, yeah, like, oh, and then being like, oh my gosh, how do I unpin these um these posts? And I also remember you telling me, like, just because you are not posting your paintings anymore doesn't mean that that's not who you are. Like the IG is just like one part of, and we're
Yeah.
so multifaceted that that's another thing that it's important to remember when it comes to social media, that we are we're so much, but we get to choose what we share. And um that doesn't mean that you're not still an artist, or that you're still not like great at this or that. It's just like you have to put your focus into one particular thing, so that your Instagram is not chaos like mine was.
And it's so important what you said because you said something about identity shifting. We're so attached to this old version because all these things that your talent, you as a artist is is the fundamental, is the column of the house. And then once you actually take that out, you feel like your house is collapsing. You feel like you're losing yourself. That's why a lot of people are attached to things, and especially like the material things, right? Like the cars and monies
Mhm.
and the clothes that they own, because they feel good in these material things. When they're attached to it, they feel safe. It's a security that they feel. They feel like protected. But once it's gone, we are so vulnerable. Right. And then it's the social media is also the spiritual journey. That's how I realized that on middle of the way when I started it. And like these, like, just unpin this, just change the highlight, all these small things. It seems very small for people, but it's actually huge because we're deconstructing our self-image. We are shifting identity from our old version to the new version. And when we do that, the reality changes as well. It's crazy how the internal world reflect in a positive way and a negative way, right? Like if you're not making sure like how does your self-image affect your external, is it lifting you up? Is it helping you to grow? Is it giving you what you want? Or is it sabotaging you? Or is it holding you back? Or is it giving you all the negative cycles and spirals? So I think that huge shift that came is through Instagram, but it was just you working on yourself and like letting go, creating a space,
Yeah.
willing to be that, new version of yourself.
Yeah, and just knowing that I'm still a great artist, even though I'm not
Yeah, you
like
are.
concentrating on posting that, like just like telling myself that because being an artist has been like the cool thing about me that I share, that it's different from other people.
Mhm.
So like without having that, I was like, well, then who the fuck am I? I'm just like a regular girl now. I'm not like an artist. Um, so that was like one of like the hardest things to do, but I think that that was like one of the biggest lessons to release all those attachments and let myself really become who I'm becoming.
Absolutely. And what happened when you made the shift? Did you realize that the shift actually happened in like externally, like as a result that you manifestation and everything?
Yeah, well, I started believing more that in my work, right? And I wasn't attaching my worth on how people see that if I'm talented or not, right? It was like, it's no longer that. Now my work is all about just helping others and how I can bring more like illuminate people's paths more and how I can help them, and not so much on how like my IG looks or how I look on IG, but more of like what I can offer. And that's another thing that you like really helped me with. Was Nobody gives a shit about like how you look. It's like what you're sharing. Like, I remember one of your videos, you were like, I recording this video and I have this pimple, and you'd be like, why did he record
Yeah.
this? He has a pimple. Like those like videos of they're like in my head now. It's just like anytime I'm like I have something that I want to share, like this is important, I need to share this for because it's valuable, and I know that somebody is out there waiting to hear this message. I'm not like so worried about like, well, how do I look, or where am I, like um I'm just like, this information needs to be channeled out and it needs to be shared because somebody is waiting for this message.
Yeah, absolutely. Like we make contents for somebody who's watching, not for ourselves. And I think it's very, very important to I think everyone who's making contents, like we all should know that we are not making contents for ourselves, right? It's not like a memory
Yeah.
stock. It's just we're making contents for the people, whether it's entertaining, whether it's valuable things, whether it's education. I think it's the baseline. But yeah, like tell me about the journey from where you were when we start working together. I know that, it's in your journey, it was really, really interesting thing happened here and there. So like share that with us.
Okay, so when we started, like I didn't have a program. So I was just coaching from these parts, like on the spot type of thing. So that also was like a little bit chaotic, without me even like knowing, I was just like, no, of course, like, isn't that how everybody coaches? Like, I didn't know. Um, so um, I was able to, then you were like, well, nobody really knows that you're coaching. Like, look at your IG, like you're talking about everything. And then you talk about like coaching in your caption, like in the last little part, like DM if you want to hear more. Like you were like, nobody's fucking reading that, Camimi. And I'm like, oh shit. So, started to put myself out there more, like believe in myself more to the point that it didn't feel like I'm trying to sell anything. It was just like it became what I like. I just became that, right? I became the teacher, and I was just sharing openly. And people were able to find me because of that. Like I started getting people interested, and people started reaching out to me about it. They're like, oh, I want to hear more about this. Like finding me from my reels where I was speaking about Dharma, and then yeah, without having um, a program, I was able to like sign three people on the spot, like right away. They're like, yes, I want to follow my passion. Like, I see what you have created for yourself. Like, I'm ready to create my passion project. So, started working with them right away. But it really all happened from like me deciding and like believing this is what I'm doing now, this is who I am, like letting go of all the other things, the detaching from all of the other labels and just being like, this is what I'm doing now. And like mindset, like in my heart, it had to all be aligned. It was not just one thing, it was like many things had to align for these people to find me, actually, for like the people that I'm looking for that also are looking for me to find me.
Yeah, it's crazy the fact that you didn't even have a program and it just started closing and like show like you didn't even tell me though, and I found out on the Zoom session and it was like, wait, did you did you close another one? It's like, why did you just tell me? And it's like, oh, I just wanted to share on the Zoom call, and I was like, you could just like hit me a text, innit? But yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny. It was so actually interesting because usually, people goes through the process and like now I'm launching my first program and then, go through the sales process. But that's what I mean that, the internal is the work. Like success is the inside job because you change your self-image, you change your belief, you detach from the old version and you made the shift internally. And then I remember that you were putting yourself out there in a park shooting contents, you know. And that was a quite stretch for you. I remember that it was a quite huge jump for you. I mean, you're a very confident woman, don't get me wrong. And I know that and everybody can see that. But, there's this new areas that we gotta challenge ourselves. And it's despite you are confident as who you are, there's always like the uncomfortable areas of our life that we put ourselves in a vulnerable way. So those like the action-oriented internal change was just on spot and everything changed and your reality completely shifted because you had those followers, you had those people before around you, but you were not attracting to you in the way that you should be attracting, right? And as a result, you can
Yeah.
help them and then you can exchange that, you can lift people up. And that's a result of the impact. That's the level of influence that comes from you, comes from your confidence, and comes from the fact that you believe in yourself.
Yeah. And it wasn't anything that I learned new. It wasn't any like new discovery. It was just me sharing my process and being as authentic as I could be online. And just, yeah, that confidence came from digging deep, really, like digging deep and letting go of other people's beliefs about me that we're so like self-centered, really, us humans. Like we think that everybody gives a shit so much about us. People don't give a shit. They're so concerned.
Yeah,
Everybody's so
absolutely.
concerned with themselves. And I was over here being so afraid of sharing what I wanted to share, what I really wanted to share, because I cared, because I thought that others gave a fuck about that. And then I realized that they didn't. And then it gave me so much freedom, gave me so much freedom to like really show up how I wanted to show up. And that attracted the authentic, clients and the people that I needed to be around that were looking for me.
Absolutely. And then I know the fact that
Mhm.
from here, you're gonna grow just like that. And I can see that because you've been too busy the last couple of months. And I know the fact that you haven't really been consistent with the content creation, but I know the fact that I'm super excited to see how you just got skyrocket because you did the internal work. All you need is just like create content. Once the action align with your internal process, which you will be guided to those action. And that's one thing that I always teach people is that if you, I just made a content about this actually today. If your action comes from your confidence and certainty and in a good self-image, then you take the right action. But if you're always like insecure, shy, oh, I'm attached to this, then you take the wrong action. Either way, you're going to be in a destination. You're either way, you're directed into a certain direction, right? But then the destination will be different. If you take the right route, the left route, obviously the destination will be different. So that's why every action comes from internal process. So that's why if you are confident, if you believe in yourself, then of course you take the right action. And just like it's the same energy. Taking this action or that action is the same energy and it's the same effort, but then taking you to the completely different destination. So I am genuinely super excited to see how you grow. And obviously I will be supporting you to see that the goals and manifestations. So thank you so much, Camimi. I think it was just epic. I love that. I love this podcast. And thank you so much. Do you have any, let's say, do you have any message for people like you, especially? I didn't introduce you properly. You're a yoga teacher and you were doing this like event and passion to purpose project, which is basically your coaching now that you teach people how to, turn their passion into purpose, right? And like especially healings, sound healing and yoga teachings, and making that project and an event so that they can manifest that beautiful moment and share with others.
Yeah. So something that comes to mind just right now is there are people out there in the world doing the shit that you want to do, and they are not as qualified as you are. And we are just scared to do the things that we know that we are overly qualified for, we're ready for to do, and we're just not doing it because we're scared. Meanwhile, other people who just have the balls to go out there and do it, they're just already living your dream and getting the gigs that you want to
Yeah.
get. So, like, they're getting your jobs, like, they're getting your jobs because they just decided that they're gonna go do it. So you know, mi consejo, my advice, sorry, forgot English for a
¿Qué
second.
pasa? ¿Qué pasa?
My advice, my advice is to, even if you feel like there's no way that that this is a job, like this is like something that I'm good at and I'm not even sure if is this even a job, like don't doubt it, just go ahead and try it out and do it, because there's so much room for authenticity in this world, because there's so many people doing the same fucking things over and over again, that the moment that you show up doing being yourself, doing something a little bit different, it just like, it's really needed. So um, don't be afraid to just go out there and do whatever it is that you really in your heart want to do, because that is the dharma, that is the purpose, is looking and seeing the problem in the world and you having the creative solution for it. So find what the problem is and then go out there and solve it. Just be a little superhero out there.
Be your superhero. Facts. Damn, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Killed it. Mic drop.
Yeah.
Bam. Damn, you stole my show. Shit. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much for coming, Kamimi, and thank you so much for your wisdom. And I genuinely enjoyed this conversation. And I hope that everybody watching this now feel motivated to take action or to go ahead and like take the leap of faith, take the leap of
Just
faith.
do it.
Just do it. Woo, woo, woo.
Ooh.
All right, Kamimi, thank you so much. Enjoy the beautiful day. Ciao, ciao.